One of the key plot points in the How to Train Your Dragon franchise is the Night Fury's rarity and all the baggage that comes with it. But Toothless isn't the only exotic species in the vast world of dragons. In today's video, we'll count down the top 10 rarest dragons in the How to Train Your Dragon universe. Starting our countdown at number 10, we have the Sentinel, a boulder-class dragon that can only be found at the Dragon Graveyard on the Isle of Vanaheim. Due to their sacred duty, Sentinels appear to be chosen guardians rather than a naturally reproducing population, making encounters with them exceptionally uncommon. Based on what we saw during the expeditions to Vanaheim and Race to the Edge, the Sentinel population is no more than 30 dragons in the wild. Being boulder-class dragons, Sentinels have high durability and tough skin that makes them perfect for the role of defenders. When they're not engaged in battle, Sentinels stay perfectly still, resembling statues and setting up the opportunity for a surprise attack. Even though these dragons are blind, there's scarcely a weakness as their massive, conical fire blasts appear to be stronger than the average dragons. Sentinels can also produce sonic blasts that can disorient other dragons and also have enough force to blow off monstrous Nightmare's fire jacket. What makes Sentinels particularly dangerous is their extensive knowledge of other dragon species and their strengths and weaknesses, making the Sentinel the perfect choice to defend against other dragons. Growing into number 9, we have the ancient Foreverwing. Earlier mistaken to be islands, the citizens of Nepenthe built their civilization on the backs of 6 of these massive dragons. Since these gigantic mystery-class dragons serve as a living ecosystem and natural fortress, we can't actually know how many more of them are out there. However, given their tendency to hibernate without mating, it's unlikely that the number of Foreverwings in the wild is much higher than 20. When hibernating, the Foreverwing's massive size allows entire forests to grow on its back, providing perfect camouflage as the foliage blends in with the dragon's already woody and earthy appearance. The Foreverwing has not been seen breathing fire, but it is capable of producing lava that has the ability to burn down entire villages from its body. When awakened, this dragon can also produce an acid that is not as destructive as lava, but to defend itself. Just like the Red Death, the Foreverwing is an alpha species, meaning it can command other dragons, typically referred to as seedlings. This dragon can also use telepathy, which it demonstrated by communicating with Hiccup in Rise of Berk. At number 8, we have the electrifying Skrill, a legendary strike-class lightning dragon that harnesses the power of storms themselves. While not extinct, Skrills are extremely rare in the wild, and we've only encountered 2 of them so far in the franchise. Their unusual hibernation methods also make it difficult to keep count of their population, and even the most famous Skrill in the story was actually frozen in ice for an extended period before being discovered by dragon riders. While the exact wild population is unknown, estimates say due to their solitary nature, it's unlikely that there's more than 15 Skrills out there. What makes these dragons unique is their ability to absorb electricity from lightning bolts and store the energy within themselves. This dragon can also generate an electric defensive barrier that can be used to deflect projectiles or flame blasts. In an emergency, the Skrill can discharge its entire reserve of lightning in all directions, unleashing a wave of electricity that'll stun anything in its path. However, this ability is rarely used as it leaves the dragon vulnerable afterwards. Heating up our list at number 7, we have the Eruptadon. This boulder-class dragon lives exclusively in active volcanic environments, with the most notable one from the franchise being the Eruptadon in Caldera K. What makes these dragons so rare is the fact that they reproduce only once in their lifetime, and even then, the egg may fail to hatch if it's not submerged in lava. As a result, it's highly unlikely that there are more than 5 Eruptadons out there, considering the number of available active volcanoes and their breeding habits. As a side effect of their habitat, these dragons possess a thick armor of cooled volcanic rock, which makes Eruptadons nearly immune to heat-based attacks from other dragons. It also possesses fireproof saliva, which can be used even by humans to protect themselves when approaching a volcano. Number 6 brings us to the natural alpha species among all dragons, the mighty Bewilderbeast. This gigantic title-class dragon first appeared in How to Train Your Dragon 2, where it was depicted creating shelters for its subjects using ice blasts, essentially building massive ice fortresses that can house entire dragon populations. Technically, Bewilderbeasts should be lower down on this list, but they get a boost because there are 3 known living specimens at the moment in the form of Drago's Bewilderbeast, the Berserker Bewilderbeast, and its egg. This means that we can project up to 5 to 10 Bewilderbeasts being alive out there in the wild. What makes Bewilderbeasts so powerful is their ultimate alpha ability, which grants them complete control over all other dragons. Luckily, untamed Bewilderbeasts are generally benevolent creatures who allow their subjects to maintain their independence. In battle, these dragons breathe supercooled water that freezes into ice crystals as large as themselves, instantly encasing targets in thick ice. Their thick hide serves as a perfect defense, while the Bewilderbeast's massive tusks are a fearsome offensive tool. At number 5, we have the original villain of the franchise, the Red Death. So far, we only know of one living member of this gigantic Stoker-class dragon species, while one other was killed in battle by Hiccup and Toothless. However, it is known that the Red Deaths typically lie at the center of dragon nests, so it's entirely possible that there are a couple more of them out there, leading to a figure of about 5 dragons in the wild. As an alpha species, Red Deaths possess the ability to force smaller dragons to obey their will, even against their natural instincts. The Red Death uses methane to power enormous flame jets that can effortlessly incinerate entire fleets of Viking ships in seconds, while its powerful inhalation creates a vacuum that sucks other dragons into its mouth. In addition to its immense power, this dragon also is incredibly durable, and the only reason Red Deaths are so rare is because they isolate themselves by choice. Diving into number 4, we have the legendary Purple Death. This dragon is incredibly rare, and even thought to be extinct until the dragon riders encountered a specimen which is probably the last of its kind. Purple Deaths inhabit the deepest parts of the oceans, in underwater trenches and abyssal plains where few other creatures can survive. They're so massive that their very movements cause seaquakes. These were so terrifying to dragons and humans alike that Vikings believed this was the Serpent of Midgard from legend, heralded to bring Ragnarok, the end of the world. As such, this dragon prefers to use its physical prowess in battle by pushing, shoving, and swatting away its foes and even crushing smaller opponents in its powerful jaws. Even though it lives in the sea, the Purple Death also possesses immense firepower and can burn down an entire fleet or a small village in one breath, making it a force of nature as much as a dragon. At number 3, we have another dragon species with only one known specimen, the Buffalord. This medium-sized mystery-class dragon first appeared in Dragon's Race to the Edge, and unlike others on this list, it was nearly driven to extinction by human hunters. You see, Buffalords are calm creatures that prefer open, wide grasslands and remote meadows, and they rarely attack humans until it's too late. The Buffalord's most remarkable ability is its healing saliva, which contains potent medicinal properties that can cure deadly diseases like the Scourge of Odin. This is why Buffalords are critically endangered, as their valuable healing properties led to them being hunted by those seeking their medicinal saliva. Number 2 should come as no surprise to anyone, with only one remaining specimen taking the role as the ruler of all dragons in the hidden world. It's the unholy offspring of lightning and death, the Night Fury. As we saw with Toothless, Night Furies are the fastest and most intelligent of all dragon species, distinguished by their sleek black scales and piercing eyes. The Night Fury's blasts have a wide range, including a small spark to light a stove, a concussive shot that stuns humans, a deadlier attack that can kill a Viking in one shot, or a tremendous blast strong enough to knock down a Red Death. Just like its light counterpart, the Night Fury can also blend itself into the night sky, but it achieves this by using electricity to heat up its scales. Now, in the story, we're told that Grimmel was responsible for hunting the Night Furies to extinction, but even before that, Night Furies were pretty rare and elusive. And finally, taking the number 1 spot, we have the Screaming Death. This gigantic, heavily mutated Whispering Death first appeared in Dragon's Defenders of Berk, and there's only one specimen out in the wild. This albino titan possesses all of the strengths of regular Whispering Deaths with none of their traditional weaknesses. Its massive size and weight make it one of the most powerful dragons, capable of tunneling through entire islands at incredible speeds, creating cavern systems that can destabilize entire land masses and cause them to collapse into the sea. The Screaming Death gets its name from the powerful shrieks that it emits. These sonic blasts can even disorient dragons with poorer hearing like thunder drums, and can also serve as a cry for assistance from Whispering Deaths. The reason this dragon takes the number 1 spot is that regardless of hunters or environmental conditions, only one Screaming Death can ever be alive at any given time. And there you have it, the top 10 rarest dragons and how to train your dragon. Which of these rare dragons fascinated you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.